Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Peter Fershlogner's Douche Internet Reviews for douches who like internet reviews. Look, I know that things right now suck. In fact, for the past few weeks, I myself have been hiding away in stagnation, filled with fear and paranoia over what could happen to my friends, family, fans, or even myself during this time. I deleted Twitter from my phone, avoided contact with others, and I even started missing meals, which is extremely rare for me. I had hermitized, as some would say, retreated to a metaphorical and literal pillow fort with nothing but a lighter and the roaches to keep me company. I had even taken to capturing and consuming them as my only source of sustenance. But then something struck me. My fears and anxieties had taken over completely, and I had all but given up. I had to do something. So I decided to do the only thing I could. And that's why I'm here right now, looking the way that I do. And if you're worried about what's going to happen when all this chaos ends, just remember, you can always rob a bank. Seriously, it is an option. There are banks everywhere, just ripe for the picking. And I know, it's super illegal for you to rob a bank, but it's not illegal for a bank to rob you. And all I'm saying is to take that into consideration if you're thinking about holding one up during the great 2021 depression. And to think, I was looking forward to C-Labs in 2021. But enough of this doomer bullshit. Today we're going to be reviewing Paperboy for the Sega Genesis. But before we review the game, I think we should learn a little bit about newspapers. Take it away, fellas! I don't actually have fellas, so it is I who must take it away.
The newspaper, a classic American invention. Well, technically newspapers were a European invention, but what is considered to be the first newspaper in the American colonies, which are the only colonies that matter, was published by Benjamin Harris in Boston in the year 1690. Nice. And in the 1800s, newspapers as we know them today took off. Newspapers have many uses, from padding packages to helping Dad ignore the kids. They can even be used to punish Spot when he tinkles on the carpet. Bad Spot. That's a bad, bad doggy. And there's even something for the missus. Coupon clipping. Just remember whose money you're spending, honey. Sadly, it seems that no one wants to utilize or read newspapers any longer. For the year is 2020, and we now have the technology to beam information directly into the phones of the collective masses, where it will be consumed uncritically at unprecedented rates. Newspapers are a dying breed, a passing trend. And soon, they may even be outlawed. So enjoy your newspapers while you can, folks, for tomorrow is never guaranteed. My grandfather would always say that before that horrible accident at the canning factory. Oh God, Grandpa!
Okay, well, that was interesting. Let's take a look at the box art. God in heaven! The box art for this game is horrifying. This kid looks like a gremlin, dude. Well, at least Nintendo got this one right. Their box art isn't nearly as horrifying. Fun fact though, both the Genesis and SNES versions of this game are ports of the original arcade game, which was extremely popular in the 80s. I actually never played the arcade version, but I do remember playing the PC version of Paperboy all the time on the computers in the art building of my school in 2nd grade. Anyways, it's time to pop this bad boy in and give it a try. So, Paperboy is a game where you play as a paperboy tasked with delivering newspapers in the world's most dysfunctional neighborhood. Seriously, this place is insane. There's guys beating the shit out of each other in the streets, unsupervised children, aggressive pets, animate, inanimate objects, lunatics leaving lit explosives in the streets. I mean, there's even guys trying to break into buildings in broad daylight. Like, it's 9 a.m. in the fucking suburbs and this dude is trying to break into a house wearing all black. What is this, Florida? There's also a lot of hearses. I mean, a lot of hearses, which implies that a lot of people die here, probably because none of the hearse drivers know how to drive a fucking hearse. I mean, seriously, if they aren't speeding through residential neighborhoods, they're spending the afternoon backing out of their driveway 600 times. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Oh my god. Congratulations, asshole, you just ran over a child. Wait a minute, maybe that was his plan all along. Come to think of it, dead kids are good business when you drive a hearse for a living. Now that's what I call job security. Just make sure you can afford a lawyer capable of knocking that second-degree murder charge down to vehicular manslaughter. Speaking of vehicular manslaughter, you'd think the residents in this neighborhood would be driving more carefully considering the large presence of children on tricycles. Seriously, there are so many of this kid. But the programmers were probably just trying to be accurate to the times, and the 80s were a very different time. You see, nowadays, children spend their time indoors, playing Fortnite and consuming memes, but back in the 80s, parents would just let their kids ride around the block on small tricycles unsupervised. Which is why in the 80s there was a much higher number of motor vehicle deaths among bicyclists under the age of 13. Oops, that was depressing. But, hey, look at the bright side. None of those kids can grow up to be Fortnite streamers.
The fuck you say to me, you little shit?
Sorry, Ninja.
You kiss your mother with that mouth?
I know, that was a bad joke. Maybe we should cut to a commercial break so we can cleanse our palates of that joke, and when we come back, I promise, things will be much more positive.
Peter Reviews will return right after this short commercial break. It's Tricycle Tuesdays here at Discount Dave's local orphanage. That's right, buy a child today and you'll get a free tricycle. Limit 1 per customer.
Hello, I am Discount Dave Daryl, and here at Discount Dave's we have so many orphans, we're throwing them away. Figuratively speaking. But we do not just sell, we also buy. You have extra kid lying around? Orphan it. We'll give you damn fine deal here at Discount Dave's local orphanage. So come on down, pick one out, and we'll give you free tricycle today.
Limit 1 per customer. Limit 1 per.
Remember, nothing makes happier child than free tricycle.
Limit 1
so
per
I'll
customer.
see you down at Discount Dave's local orphanage.
Located on the corner of 43rd and Riverside.
You can't miss us. We're right next to the funeral home.
Come to Discount Dave's, where discount means helping a child achieve their dreams.
We now return to your regularly scheduled program.
Okay, so as you can see, these neighborhoods are teeming with dangerous obstructions and violent lunatics, but fret not, because with a little patience and determination, we can overcome any obstacles in our path. Except for the Grim Reaper. When you see that guy, you cross the street. Oh god! Alright, so let's get down to what being a paperboy is all about. Delivering papers. You start each stage with an overview of the neighborhood you're about to deliver papers to. The game shows you which houses have subscriptions to the Daily Sun and which don't. And your goal is to successfully deliver papers to the appropriate houses during a 1-week period. Now, you want to carefully and properly deliver papers to the houses that have subscriptions. These are the golden houses, the lifeblood of the local press, those who deserve to be blessed by the news in paper form. You must take care not to damage their property, for if you do, they'll cancel their subscription. But the houses that don't have subscription, now those are free game. In fact, the game rewards you for breaking windows and lawn ornaments at those houses, because those who do not subscribe to the Daily Sun can get fucked. Should have subscribed to the Daily Sun, fuckers. There's only one motto to live by when working for the Daily Sun. If you cancel your subscription, we'll cancel your kids. Alright, let's take it easy for a minute. The single most important element to the gameplay in Paperboy is timing your paper throws, while successfully avoiding obstacles, of course. When it comes to houses that don't have paper subscriptions, you obviously don't have to be very careful, but of course you don't want to go full auto and spray the whole neighborhood with newspapers because you do have a limited amount of papers. So you want to make your throws count. Easier said than done. For the golden houses, you want to hit either the front door or the mailbox. Both will count as a completed delivery, however the mailbox nets you significantly more points. And like I said earlier, you've got to be very careful not to break any windows or lawn decorations on these houses. And the harder the difficulty, the more bullshit these people have in their front lawns. There's so much shit you have to avoid. Fucking flamingos and tiny yard gnome. I don't even know what these are. I mean, you can lose a subscription from riding through someone's flower bed.
One less customer.
That's one less customer. Come on, really? It was one fucking tulip. I mean, how much does a tulip even cost? Oh shit. Tulips are Tulips are kind of pricey. Whatever, this time I'll be extra careful and make sure not to hit any windows or decorations or flowers. Did I just split that column with a newspaper? What a load of shit! What kind of whack-ass applesauce, Tommy Rotten, flapdoodle, codswallop bullshit is this fucking house made out of? Is it a papier-mâché science project? How was I supposed to know that tossing a newspaper would break that beam? Man, this game expects a lot out of your throws. I mean, you have got to be incredibly accurate to avoid these obstacles, which makes tossing papers in the game extremely difficult, especially considering that your paper sometimes seems to take on a mind of its own. Like, for example, when you hit a mailbox and the paper just bounces off of it, or phases through it. I mean, the hitboxes in this game are far from perfect, and that can also lead to some frustrating deaths, not to mention the camera angle in this game has always confused me. Now, I can't speak for others who played this game, but I seem to have a lot of trouble with the fact that your character is viewed from a top-down, upper right angled position. This perspective gives the false impression of movement on a three-dimensional plane, but you're controlling your character with a D-pad, which implies horizontal and vertical movement on a two-dimensional plane. I don't know how much of that makes sense, but let me break down the controls, okay? Up and down are reserved for your speed. Pressing down slows you down, and pressing up speeds you up. Pressing left or right turns the character left or right. It sounds simple, but I've noticed that while I'm playing the game, I have to constantly fight with my brain's belief that I need to angle my turns when I move left and right, and I start treating the D-pad like a joystick, which is not how this game plays. It's probably because I play so many top-down roguelikes like Binding of Isaac and Children of Morta that I'm constantly fooled into believing I can move around the map freely in a game like this, but you can't do that. You're forced to constantly be moving forward regardless of your speed. There's no going back. You might say there is quite literally no backpedaling in this game. Look, my point is the visuals in this game are like an optical illusion to me, and it's most likely a personal problem, though I'm sure others have experienced it. And you gotta keep in mind this game is a port of an arcade game that's over 30 years old. It came out in the 80s. I mean, it's older than me. It's gonna be a little rough around the edges, and as we all know, older games were often tough and unforgiving, and Paperboy is no exception. I mean, honestly, I'm having trouble finishing out the week on Easy Street, which is the easiest neighborhood in the game, and I'm playing on normal difficulty. But hey, at least I'm dominating the scoreboard.
Cock, Richard, balls, ween, scrotum, penis, hecker, heinous.
Alright, look, I at least have to beat this game on Easy Street. All I have to do is last 1 week. 1 week! How hard could it be? Okay, here we go. You know what they say, slow and steady wins the... Shit! Shit! Stupid Macaulay Culkin ass. Oh shit, dude. Oh shit, dude. Damn it! Oh shit, it's a cat. No. No. Dude, what are they feeding these fucking alley cats? Angel dust? I mean, they take newspapers to the face like it's nothing, and they always manage to get me. I can speed up, slow down, dodge right, doesn't matter. These cats? These cats! Fuck! Oh shit, what is that? Bees? Bees? No! No, no! Fucking bees. Dude! Lord grant me the strength to defeat these bees! Shit! Why is there no consistency in this bitch of a cul-de-sac? Where is God? Where is reason? That's it, I can't do this. Fuck it. Death take me.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows, only time.
By the way, I love how the paper you work for writes an outrage article about you when you get a game over. I mean, really? Don't you think the Daily Sun has better things to write about, like the frequent burglaries, bombings, fights, and vehicular manslaughter? Or perhaps the Daily Sun should write an article about the roving packs of sentient tires that are terrorizing their fucking neighborhoods. I mean, these front page stories just suck, especially in a town with 1,000,001 stories worthy of the front page. How about I rattle a few off right now? Cats eating children? Meet your new neighbor, the Grim Reaper. Scientists struggle to find reason in a world with sentient rubber. Look, my point is that a squirrely paperboy running around breaking a few windows is the least of this town's worries. Get your fucking priorities straight, Daily Sun. Alright, so I don't have the skill to complete this game, but I can't let it beat me. If I can't be a successful paperboy in the virtual world, I'm gonna do it in real life.
I think it's time we blow this thing.
It's time to deliver some papers.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Alright, so what do I think of Paperboy for the Sega Genesis? Well, despite its difficulty and my frustrations, I really do enjoy this game. It's a strange but well-executed concept with solid graphics for its time, a ton of interesting if frustrating enemies and obstacles, and a cool little course to finish out the stages. I will say the music is a little repetitive. There's also strange hitbox issues, but again, 30-year-old game here, and I've got fond memories of it. Growing up, this game made me feel like a rebel, you know? Like, before Grand Theft Auto and all these open-world games where you could do all kinds of crazy shit, throwing a newspaper through someone's window and riding your bike through heavy traffic was fucking badass, dude. I mean, when you think about it, you're committing a lot of criminal activity in this game, but the teachers at my school didn't seem to realize that, and they would boot it up every day at the end of class. They just let us kids play this violent video game to our heart's content, and that was pretty cool. But I wonder if our timeline was different, and we were living in the Berenstein universe where Sinbad was a genie. Would parents in the 80s be blaming a video game like this for the high amount of motor vehicle deaths among children? Would they get outraged like they do now over violence in gaming?
You know them, you know, Call of Duty, I don't do any of these, but...
The answer is no, because parents in the 80s didn't give a shit. They didn't give a fuck! And that's why the 80s were awesome, and so is this game. So I guess I'd have to give Paperboy for the Sega Genesis 4
The fuck you say to me, you little shit?
out of 5. Now don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that stupid half-functioning bell, or whatever. And be sure to leave a comment below about how much you hate my disgusting face. And if you really enjoy these reviews and would like to see them more frequently, please consider donating to my Patreon. In fact, if we can make it to $1,200 a month, I'll quit my day job and do this full time.